Jeff. How's it going?
Hi, Gracie. Wonderful to see you, as always.
Likewise.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, thanks for sitting down with me today. I hear that some congratulations are in order. You're starting a key group.
You hear correctly. I am starting a key group, and I'm super excited about it.
Oh, wonderful. So, for everybody who doesn't know, could you expand a little bit and tell us what a key group actually is in the Vistage
Sure,
universe?
sure. So, a key group is, as the name suggests, they are key executives in the companies that I serve. As you know, I have several peer advisory groups for CEOs and owners. And there's certainly tremendous value that's delivered to them through their peer group and the one to one executive coaching that I do with them
Yeah.
and the speakers that we bring into our meetings. And the key group program is really to cultivate the C suite, the people at the first level reporting to the CEO and the owner, so that that executive can bring maximum value to the organization.
Wow. Wonderful. So, when are you starting that group?
I'm starting the group in September. Really excited about that.
Great. So, who would be an ideal candidate to join you in this? You said it's a peer group. I'm assuming it's also non competing, right?
Yes, it's a peer group and it's non competing. So, the ideal candidate, the most appropriate candidate, would be someone who is in the C suite, someone who's typically reporting to the CEO or the owner. It's possible they might be a candidate for succession should
Mm, right.
something should the CEO transition, but it's not limited to that. It's really anyone who is a trusted advisor at the top tier, helping the CEO and the owner to execute on the company's strategy. So it's anyone at that C-suite, that first level below the CEO, regardless of their functional expertise. When you're chief exec, when you're a key executive, you bring certain content specific capabilities. Maybe your expertise is finance or operations or sales or marketing or technology or R&D, what have you. Uh, but when you're in the leadership team meeting with the CEO, you need to put your second hat on,
Mm,
which is the company hat. And what does that require? It requires understanding the company's strategy, aligning with the CEO and the owner or the owner on that strategy, understanding the tactical elements that will be required, and prepared to deliver value, whether it's in their functional area or whether they're functioning in on a small team on a given initiative to really deliver value. So those are that's the ideal candidate that we're interested in sharing this with.
great. And does the CEO have to be a part of Vistage already for them to join the key group?
No, the CEO does not have to be a member of my CEO or owners group. There are people in the C-suite that fit the description that I just shared with you
Yeah.
who would receive tremendous benefit. So it's not limited to Vistage CEO member organizations.
Great. Can you talk a little bit more about the benefits, about the impact that a key group could have on those C-level executives you just described?
Let me talk first about the benefit to the key executives, and then I'll talk about the benefit to the CEO and the organization.
Great. Sure.
So the key executives, um, they need every tool they can get their hands on
Yeah.
to help do exactly what I described, to drive the strategy, to execute on outcomes, to ultimately achieve results. And the key executive program serves those executives. It contributes to completing their tool set. It helps them to align more closely, more directly to the CEO's strategy for the organization. It provides professional development for them, things like emotional intelligence, strategic implementation, um, alignment, having difficult conversations,
Hmm.
driving change initiatives within the organization. And these are consequential activities that the CEO or the owner is really relying on those trusted advisors to help drive, to help implement. And we're all human, right? We all have gaps. We all have
Yeah.
things that either are newer to us as from a skill set standpoint, or they just don't come natural to us. So the first dimension of value, and there are many elements of it, is to really benefit that key executive, to help them prepare for whatever role they are currently in or someday maybe moving into. That's the benefit to the key executive. The benefit to the CEO or the owner is that those leadership team members optimize their skill set, optimize their capabilities. They're bringing their best game to the organization. And to the extent that key executives do that, it's beneficial first and foremost to the organization. And it's also beneficial to that CEO. So the benefit, it's what I call bi-directional. It benefits the key executive, and by benefiting the key executive, it benefits the CEO or the owner.
Great. And then you mentioned the impact on the business itself. Do we want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So CEOs are carrying the weight of the responsibilities on the company on their shoulders all the time. CEOs are expected to be accountable, but there's a lot that's not in their control.
Yeah.
They're expected to lead the company into the future, but market changes. The markets are constantly changing, um, and it's tough being a CEO. It can be a lonely job. It can be enormously gratifying, but it can be a lonely job. And to the extent that the CEO is able to deliver on her or his vision, her or his strategy, her or his goal for the company, the more tools that that CEO has, and the most important tool set is their leadership team. That will accrue to the benefit of the company.
Yeah. I've heard, another Vistage chair, Rick Vaness, he has said, and I think it's a Vistage saying, that if you build your people, they will build your company.
Yes, yes, absolutely right. Building, there's nothing more important for a CEO than to build her or his team. It's interesting. A few weeks ago, I moderated a panel. It was a joint panel between J.P. Morgan Chase and Vistage, and we had two leaders who had recently sold substantial equity in their respective companies.
Huh.
And they were asked, what was the most important investments that you made? And they both said that our people,
Yeah.
that the investments in talent were of paramount importance for growing a company and for those who aspire to exiting from that company, ultimately to exiting the company.
Yeah, it's great. So, logistically, how often does this group meet, and what does a key executive meeting kind of look like?
Sure. So the group meets on a monthly basis. As you mentioned, it's non-competing. So if there's one person in the key group from one industry, they're the only one from that industry because we want to create um, a safe space where nothing is off the table.
Right.
So those are full day meetings. It's all key executives who either live on Long Island or their businesses are based in Long Island, because it's an in-person meeting. There's a particular cadence to each meeting, that the objective of which is to challenge people to think differently about their own leadership, challenges them to think differently about the company, and what new perspectives can they bring to their CEO as a key executive. One primary source of those new perspectives, there are actually two. The first is the other people in the group who come from different industries, different functional areas,
Sure.
and they are disinterested. They're objective. They're going to just say and offer suggestions that they see and not be quite so, well, I can't say that because I don't want to hurt the person's feeling. That's not how a Vistage meeting works.
Yeah.
The second principal source of outside perspectives are the speakers that we bring in. Vistage has probably the largest collection of really world-class speakers on every topic imaginable in the small business, small and mid-sized company sector. And whether it's marketing, sales, finance, operations, emotional intelligence, executive presence, having tough conversations, you name it, we bring these speakers into the meetings, and they're very provocative. They're very challenging in the way they typically do their presentations. They're really challenging the individuals in the room to bring their best game to the organization as it relates to whatever topic that they're discussing. One of the really powerful aspects of the Key program is that for those key members whose CEOs and owners are actually Vistage members, those key executives will be hearing the same speakers that their CEOs are hearing. What value does that bring? A couple that I'll mention. Whether Vistage or not, whenever CEOs go to conferences or they hear a great speaker, they come back with all these ideas, right? We're
Right.
going to do this and we're going to do that. And
Sure.
and sometimes the leadership team is nodding their head and saying, okay, we
Like,
don't really
okay.
understand what you're talking about, but
Right.
show us the way, boss. And in Vistage, we call that the day after, where the CEO comes from the Vistage meeting the day after and they've got a laundry list of things they want to work on.
Right.
When someone's in a key group, they have the opportunity to hear the same speaker. So they understand what the CEO has just learned, what they're excited about, what they want to change, what they want to accelerate, new businesses that they want to go after or new approaches. And it builds a common language, number one, and a common set of imperatives and opportunities to confront. That's an extraordinarily powerful dimension of the Key Group program for those whose CEOs or owners are in fact part of Vistage.
Yeah. I think we've all had that experience of the day after.
Yes, 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 yes.
Great. So, if people listening to this are interested, how would they go about inquiring to become a potential key member?
So reach out to me. I'm available on LinkedIn. There's probably going to be a calendar link tied with this video recording, so they can click on that. And let's have a conversation to explore whether this is a potential fit. As I say to all of my members, I don't know whether this program is right for you, but I'm happy to explore that if you are. We're all about fit. It's important that an individual bring value to the group and get value from the group. Those are the two things that I'm really listening for when I talk with folks who are interested in this program or really any of the programs that I lead.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Jeff, and congratulations again.
My pleasure. I'm really pumped about this group being able to impact organizations even more deeply through the Vistage platform, which is so powerful, um, in helping leaders, helping CEOs and other executives become better leaders, make better decisions, get better outcomes, the opportunity to impact those companies even more deeply and broadly is something that really energizes me.
Well, that's awesome. Sign me up, Jeff.
Okay, okay, Grayson. Always a pleasure chatting with you.
Likewise. All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.